What shapes a nation's identity? Obviously, the colonial period starting from the late 1880s had a profound effect on the Horn of Africa. The colonialist came with an agenda. Before the British, Italians, and French made a scramble for Africa in the 1800s, Europeans had already constructed a mythical white king called Prester John, located somewhere in Black Africa, usually Ethiopia. Ramos, 2003, gives the following account. But what must also be stressed is that such ideas conform quite well to the overall model laid down with the famous letter of Prester John of the Indies, a forged piece of crusading propaganda from the second half of the 12th century. The idea that had come down from the medieval letter, of an alliance between Prester John and a Western sovereign, the Portuguese kings saw themselves in that position, was to be kept alive in Portuguese strategic military writings and in the diplomatic correspondence. The conquest of the Holy Land, and the destruction of the Muslim world were frequently suggested or proposed in the documentation. But on the other hand, when the Ethiopian ruler was publicly and officially contacted in the first half of the 16th century, the discrepancies between the perceived Ethiopian reality and the magnificent kingdom described in the letter began being highlighted by Portuguese writers. In fact, reality seemed to have played a terrible trick on their expectations. How could, they wondered, a black king, living permanently in a tent and ruling over a poor, barbarous and schismatic people in a mountainous wilderness, be the magnificent Prester John? This inadequacy became more manifest in 1541, when an ironical inversion of expectations took place. Instead of help the Portuguese had hoped for from their allied Prester John to achieve the control of the Red Sea, they were asked to send a small expeditionary force to rescue young Galadevo's weak army from certain defeat at the hands of the Adali invaders, in 1541 to 1543. P. 3, Ramos, Manuel João, 2003.